Started. So I want to talk to you guys about mental health, because mental health period is important, right? But mental health in our industry is very important at the end of the day. You are having people that you don't know come in left and right, and talking to them about everything and anything can be I don't know, it can feel a little awkward at times. It can set us off. We are managing the emotions of people around us all day long, and to not take things personal when they go wrong, to not take on their energy that they're putting out, but bring energy to it, because we are in the driver's seat. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. We're in the driver's seat. When that client comes in and sits in your chair and they're having a bad day, you have the ability to impact them, right? You've probably heard me say that some clients will come in and you are the only person that has touched them, and who knows how long. And for many of us, that's a really, really big deal, that somebody would take the time out to allow you into their life, and you don't even know them. That's what's kept me in the game. Okay, I've said it. There was a certain time in my life when I lost passion for doing hair, but what kept me in the game was my passion for people, my ability to impact them in certain ways, shapes, and forms. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't my own mental health to balance in and of it. And at the end of the day, we get to choose what we think on. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. So when a thought comes into our mind, we have the opportunity to say, I'm going to take that thought captive and let it go, or I'm going to let it run wildfire. We get to choose how it impacts us. And sometimes, understand me, I'm not talking about when it gets to extreme levels, because sometimes it gets to extreme levels and we really feel like we don't have control over that, and it becomes very, very difficult. I am not speaking towards a medical grade situation today, okay? Nothing that I'm going to say to you today, I want you to take and say, well, my doctor's wrong then. Please hear me on all of that. I'm not saying any of that. But what I really feel like is very important is that we balance ourselves with the expectations of guests and what they have to say about our work and how it impacts us. We've talked all week along financial, right? How to budget, how to be a great stylist that provides a worthy service, value received, communication, how we do all of those things. But when a client cancels last minute, it feels like it blows all of that up. It blows your day out of the water. That might have been a $350 client that just canceled last minute at the end of the day, and now all of your income goals are gone. What do you do with that? You let it run wild and try to figure out what you're going to do to replace it, and you rise above it because it's not going to control you and impact you in the way that it could? Or are you going to sit back and go, man, I have this bill due tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to pay it. My kids, I have to, right? And our mind can run wild with it. Clients leave us. What are we going to do? Clients are going to come and go. That's why I don't believe in ever not taking new clients. And some stylists would say, yeah, but then my existing clients don't get in. That's their fault. That's their fault. Schedule your appointment before you leave if you want to make sure that you have an appointment on my books. Okay? Because clients are always going to leave us. Clients are always going to no-show us. And when we start to get rid of the expectations that we put on people where they can fail us and let us down, we're able to rise above it. Okay? When we put unmet expectations on people and then they come and disappoint us, it's inevitable. It takes us down at the end of the day. They're always going to leave us. Social media comparisons. We've all done it. Whether it's a social media comparison or it's the girl next to us in our chair, we're comparing ourselves with that person. My instructors can get to that place sometimes, comparing, oh, that student likes them and they always go to them and they never come to me. We're human. It's going to happen. She works faster than I do. I'm not getting it as quickly as they're getting it. They do it better than I do it. That client went to them and now they stayed with them. Any of it sound familiar? And if you're not careful, the comparison game, I think, will take you out faster than anything else will. Comparison is the great divide, and it will kill you. My son, who lives in the firehouse, younger kid than him, comes in and lives in the firehouse, and they're getting ready to go to sleep one night, and that guy was like, I can't wait, hopefully get a bunch of calls tonight. And my kid was like, I just want to sleep. I don't want to get any calls tonight. I just want to go to bed. And he's like, you don't love it. You don't love it if you don't want to be woken up tonight and going on a call. And he's like, Mom, do I not like it? Like, he has me questioning myself. And I'm like, no, do not. We have a rule in our house. You get to think on anything you choose to think on. And you get to get rid of anything that comes into your mind that you choose to not think on. Period. Because what we think on controls us. It impacts our life and it impacts how we operate in life. Okay? I say that I'm going to think on things that are good, lovely, pure, uplifting. I mean, I can go on and on, right? But what you choose to think on determines the course of your life. It just does. You chose to come to beauty school because you were thinking on it and it became something that was important enough for you, so you came here. Since you've been here, you have even more thoughts about it, and it impacts how you operate. You get into it and you think to yourself, I don't know, maybe it's not for me. And then it just goes. But I've had you in my office. Maybe it's not for me. I don't know if I like it anymore. But you've made this huge commitment, so what are you going to do about it now? Okay, that can run wild, and it runs over and spills over into the clients that we are serving also. But I want you to think about something with me really quick. A client, to me, when we refer to them as clients, is just another number. They're just another person walking through the door. They're just another number because they're just a client. But when you begin to speak and think about them as a guest, tell me what you think about when you think about a guest.
Is somebody welcome?
They're welcomed. What else?
A friend.
They're friends.
You try to impress them?
Try to impress them. Why would we want to impress them?
To have them keep coming back.
To have them keep coming back? Well, when a guest comes to your home and they've never been to your home before, do you kind of want to wine and dine them if you can? You want to impress them. You want to welcome them in. If we have new people coming to stay in our home, we set up the bedroom a certain way. If I have time, I'll get a basket and put it in their room with certain things that I know that they love. We go to my sister-in-law's house. Her baskets are huge, and she's got all of this stuff in it. She's asked us before we come what we like because we're her guest. It's different. Okay, they become a part of our life. I see my old clients, and we can talk for 40 minutes in an aisle of a grocery store because they were my guest. I'd like to say they became friends, and some did, but ultimately at the end of the day, I don't talk to them anymore. The minute I stopped doing hair, I don't talk to them anymore. But I knew their kids' names. I was there when they were birthed. I was there when they got married. I was there when people died, right? And so when we lose them, it impacts us. But when we're able to pour into them, it changes it for us as well. Would you agree? Okay. I want you to begin to think differently about doing hair, because the soft skills are what keep us in the game, you guys. What are our soft skills? Communication. What else? What else is a soft skill? Professionalism. Hospitality. What else? What else would you consider a soft skill? Empathy. None of these have to do with hair. None of them. But they're what's going to keep you in the game. Your soft skills keep you here. It's your people skills, your ability to interact with people, your ability to keep your mindset straight, your ability to control anxiety. Every person in this room would say at one time or another, I have struggled with anxiety. Yeah? We all have. Whether it's anxiety here or it's, dang it, I'm anxious for that today. It's anxiety. And whether or not we allow it to control us, most of the time is up to us. Okay? Most of the time it's up to us. And the first thing that you have to do when it comes at you is you have to recognize what it is. Okay? And if we're not recognizing what anxiety is and what is happening in that moment and giving it a name, it runs wild. It goes. And if we let it go, it controls us. We get a bad review. It's on Google or Yelp for everyone to see. Our whole salon sees that I got a bad review because it's about the salon. It's not just about me. And now what does everybody think about me? That client's never coming back to me. Oh, great. Now they're going to come into the salon and I have to redo their free hair and make them happy. Hopefully, oh gosh, do they even want me to do their hair? Do they even want me to correct it? Everyone in the salon is going to know. On and on and on and on. Unless you replace it with something. So what can we replace anxiety with?
One thing that I've learned that kind of helps me with that is I think even calling it anxiety can heighten your anxiety when you call it.
Yeah.
I give it a human name. Mine's Patricia, and I'm like, oh, Patricia. Patricia needs to shut her mouth. Think of it as something separate from myself, because you are the observer of the thoughts in your head. You are not the thoughts. They come and they go, and you can choose to hang on to them, or you can choose to let it be something else. And Patricia's not nice, but we shut her down.
I love that is what you do.
I love it.
Because I think, people go, I'm anxious. And I'm like, about what? Name it. Name the anxious thought. Name the anxiety in the moment. Name what is happening. Because when we can name it, we can control it. Okay? But if we don't choose to name it and call it out and then replace it with a truth, it controls our mind. And you have to be willing to take control over your mind. We went through a time when Steve was having, I think he would tell you this. I guess I didn't ask his permission. We do talk about it, so I think he's okay with it. But I should have asked before I came in here today. He was going through a time in his life where he was having an emotional breakdown, a mental breakdown. And so he went away for 30 days. And when he went away for 30 days, I was impacted and stuff too by what he was going through. And then all of a sudden, my husband's going to be gone for 30 days. at least, and I'm going to be there with my 2 boys by myself working a full-time job. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And everything started running wild in my head. And I knew in that moment, Rhea, take control of your thoughts. Take control of your thoughts. Because our mind can be a battlefield if we allow it to be. But I can take control of the thoughts that come in and let them go if I choose to do so, right? So what do we do, and how else do we combat this in our industry and keep ourselves from the comparison game and keep ourselves from our mind running wild when things happen? I want to talk to you about emotional resilience as a cosmetologist. Not taking client reactions personally, okay? It's just the same as if you got into a fender bender with somebody and nothing bad really even happened, but boy, that person's pissed off at you. Are they really mad that you bumped their bumper? Or were they already running late for where they had to be? It's no different than when they come in and they sit in our chair and they're already having a bad day. And you're in the driver's seat. What are you going to do to control that appointment? How can you impact the person in your chair? How can you be the person that brings the great energy to them and calms the emotional mom? Calms the stressed out person. What can you do in that moment to help them? You're not there to be a therapist. Don't carry the weight. Yes.
I think just listening to people helps a lot and letting them vent, and you don't have to take it on personally. It's hard when you're empathetic, but
Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Yes.
How many empaths do we have in the room? Holy crap. I am not, if you can't tell. And I'm learning by being around more people that are empaths that you feel everything, yeah? And it's really hard when you feel everything to be like, good, let's go. But you do have to develop some sort of tactics for yourself, because it's not about us in the chair. It is about them. And yet, we don't want to allow them also to hijack the appointment and cause all of that emotion to come on us and impact us so that at the end of the day, we're drained. I mean, I don't know about you when you leave here, but I don't have anything on the radio. There ain't nothing coming through my speakers because I need to decompress. And it was more so that way when I had littles at home and my husband, and I knew that things were going to impact me when I got home too. I needed my peace. And you've got to be in control of what brings you peace. Lexi's allowed me to say, she sat with me on some things. One of my questions was, Lexi, what brings you joy? What brings you joy? I've had another student, she was really struggling, and she'd walk in here every single day and she was super negative, and it was affecting our student body. And I said, we had gotten to this place. I just said, I've had it. How you're walking into the school is so negative, and we've got to change it. We've got to, sobbing all of a sudden. Sobbing. And I said, help me to understand. And she's like, it's just when I leave here and I go home and home life is miserable. I said, I just have to ask, what brings you joy? She said, I love to bake. And I said, when was the last time you baked? She goes, it's been a long time. Man, that girl walked in this school almost every week after that conversation with a big pie or something. And she was so happy. Was it that one situation that changed her life? No, it wasn't the one situation. But here's the deal. Selfish people have a really hard time walking through this world. Why? Because they think of themselves a lot. But when we think of ourselves less, we're less selfish. See, thinking about other people, caring for other people, caring for our guests is less about us and more about them. And that is hard on selfish people. But it's really easy if you just think about them more. What do I mean by that? What's it mean to think about other people more than it does ourselves? What does it look like? What's it look like to you?
Putting other people's needs before your own.
So the client comes in, they sit in your chair, and we listen. We allow them to talk. She said when they come in and they sit down in your chair, it's about them. And when they are having a hard day and you are the empath in the chair, it's hard to not just absorb all of it and take it on. But if you don't have a practice in your life that allows you to let it in and let it out, it is going to take you out. It'll take you out. I got up at 4:30 this morning. Why? I'm no good for you. No good for you if I don't do that. I am no good for my staff if I don't do my own practice. Hear me, this is not yours and it never has to look like yours, but my own practice is this. I get up and I work out. Then I go in my sauna for 30 minutes and I put on praise and worship music and I read my Bible and I talk to God. And then I get myself ready and then I come to work. It takes me 3 hours to do all of that before I walk out the door. If I don't do that, I am not good. I'm not, because the workout frees my mind. If I'm pissed, I want to run. I want to lift weights. I want to do hard things because it helps me to work it out. And then I got to go talk to God about it. And I have to be by myself with nobody else around. And sometimes it's crying, sometimes it's screaming, sometimes it's talking. It just all looks different. That's my practice. Okay? Sometimes if it's been a really rough day, I got to do something like that on the way home too. I had a student ask me yesterday, why are you consistent? What keeps you consistent? Let me tell you what keeps me consistent, my goals. And sometimes you got to write your goal on the mirror that's going to be in front of your face every single day. You got to put it in your car where you're going to see it. You got to put it on your phone. You got to tell the people around you so that they'll remind you of it when you're no good. So that nobody lets you forget. Okay, so what does your practice look like? I'm going to run out of time. You got to recover from your mistakes quickly. Recover from your mistakes quickly. How many of you in this room, and be honest, are still sitting on a crap? How did that happen and why did I do it? Guys, when we make a mistake, we have to be willing to move on. Learn from it. Let it teach you something. Because if you are not failing, you are not living life and you are not moving forward. We have to fail. The best leaders in the world have failed more times than they have succeeded. You have to fail. But if you let failure keep you there, that's true failure. You're not growing. Okay? So move on from it quickly. You overtoned somebody. Oh, well, they're going to wash their hair at home 5 times and it's going to come out. You melted someone's hair off. We all do. You cut someone's length off and you cut a hole in it. Yep, you're in school. It's okay. Move on from it. I've done it in the salon after school on accident. We all have bad days, or they lied to us. And something happened in the color process. It's okay. Move on from your mistakes. Like I said, have a practice that helps you with that. Handling the constant social energy. Okay? You came into a school with about 50 stations and music playing And sometimes they're all full. So that means 50 stations, 50 students, 50 clients, the music's on blast, the blow dryers are going. Yeah, that's a lot. And when you leave here at the end of the day, you're like, holy cow. Or you're talking constantly. The client that comes in, they got a lot that they're bringing with them. You got to handle it. So we have to have empathy, yes. We have to know how to steer the conversation. We say no religious or political conversations in and amongst us at school. Why? Because holy cow, in the climate that we live in today, if we allow that in and around us, not only is it going to negatively bring impact most of the time, but it's going to cause a lot of chaos. And then we're going to walk out of here even more chaotic. So we have the strict rule. And I have it in place for a reason. You drive the conversation. You're the driver. Be the driver of the conversation in your chair. The person that's having a hard time, man, just love them. Just love them. Allow them to talk. Allow yourself to be there for them and hear them. Navigate client expectations. You got to navigate it, okay? They're going to come in with their social media photos. They're going to have unrealistic timelines and expectations, misunderstandings. They think that they know. They're going to tell you how to do their hair. In fact, when my girlfriend was doing my hair the other night, she goes, this client's trying to tell me how to do her hair. She's sending me videos on how to do gray blending. I said, oh gosh, I don't miss that. Okay? There's a lot of shaming and things that will come. But again, you have to have your practice for it. Managing the income up and downs. Be ready for it. If you're managing your budget, your finances, if you're doing the things that we talked about this week about our finances, the ups and downs, you're setting up your schedules accordingly, then when the income up and down comes, you're ready for it. It'll still hurt, but be ready for it and mentally have a story ready for yourself. Okay? All right. I know this week could look crappy, or I know next month might look crappy because in the spring there's always a slow month. And because I know there's always a slow month in the spring, I have set money aside for this month, and I just know that money's coming out of that savings account. I'm okay with that. It's yearly. It's what happens. I've prepared myself for it. Okay? Those things can take you out. Those things will make you say things like my girlfriend said. Why am I still doing this? How much money do I make? I bet she makes $12,000 more than she thinks she makes. She just really doesn't know because she doesn't manage her money. Okay? So what's required to sustain a long career in the industry? What's required of it? You got to take control. You got to take control of your emotions and the direction of your life. Period. If we are not in control of that, at the end of the day, it all controls us. Okay? I want to do an exercise with you guys. And on this exercise, it's going to be individually. I'm going to go get the speaker and play some low music. We have 25 minutes. It goes over a confidence timeline. First day of school to 5 years from now. What's my biggest fear today? The skill I want to master, and what does success look like? What are 3 strengths that I bring to this industry? 1, insecurity I will grow through, and a boundary that I will protect. If you don't set boundaries for yourself, clients will override them. They will text you, they will private message you, and they will not leave you alone. If you answer them outside of your hours, you just said that it was okay. Has it already happened to you? Mm-hmm. Do you answer them past your hours? Some of us yes, some of us no. If you answer them outside of your hours, you are letting them know that it is okay to contact you at any time of any day. And now they get to take from you when you're not on. Don't let them do that. Because in the old days, they didn't have the ability to do that. They had to wait until we got into work to attack us. They had to wait until we got there to ask us a question. It's okay to make them wait. It's okay to not let people talk to you with disrespect. It's okay to not take in everything that they're saying to you. It's okay. Because to feel everything that they're bringing to you is not okay at the end of the day. You got to guard yourself. And you got to guard yourself with the truth, you guys. If you're not guarding yourself with the truth, because for every negative thing that comes in, you got to replace it with a truth. She's better than me. You know what? I know what I'm doing. And I can do great things too. You got to have affirmations that you speak over yourself. Okay? Because it's not going to just be the negative that we can receive from clients, but we can have really great days and still go home with the negative thoughts in our heads. And what you do with it at the end of the day dictates how you'll stay in the game. Okay? Who in here does have a daily practice? Not enough of you. Not enough of you. And here is what I want to say to you. Yes, you do too have time. You do. It'll cost you something. It'll cost you. It's going to cost you some sleep. It's going to cost you your schedule. It's going to cost you your structure. It's going to cost you some peace. It's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you some time with your kids. It's going to cost you some time with your friends. It's going to cost you some time with your spouse. But if you are no good for you, you are no good for them. And so when you start to get a daily practice for yourself, man, it'll rock your world. It was at least 20 years ago that I set in place the structure for myself. And so when I have a student come to me and say, what makes you consistent? It's because I have these things in place. And yes, I have 20, 25 years on some of you, even more than that on some of you. And I've learned a lot over the years to get to where I am today. And I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've had to learn really hard lessons to be where I'm at today. Okay? But I used to let things affect me. And I was at a conference one time, and I came up on this wooden sign in this shop, and it said, our lives are not determined by what happens to us, but they are determined by how we react to life. So my question to you today is, how do you react to the things that happen to you? What do you do? How do you handle it? And then, how do you change it? You've got to know what you want out of life. And there's always a way to get there. I have had that sign in our kitchen for years. And every time my kids come complaining to me, I'm like, our lives are not dictated by what happens to us. How are you going to respond? What are you going to do? And they're like, right? Like, here we go. So those are my questions to you. I want to give you guys until 20 after to go over this. And then if somebody in the room is vulnerable enough to share some things from what they have written down and how they walk through it, I promise you, you're not alone in this room. Somebody else needs it too. And we're in this together. You're not here alone. We play in the same sandbox. So take some time. I'm going to put some music on and then we'll share.